Hello everyone and welcome back. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I haven't done this in a while. I'm sorry for the inconsistency. And before you ask, why is there bandages on my hands? I was moving a mirror and it shattered in my hands, so it hacked me up pretty good. But you know, we're Australians, so we're tough. We just keep going. Anyway, today we're talking about Black Adam. Black Adam is a surprise to say the least. So Black Adam is another entry into the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe, which is, I was going to say still a thing, but it might be over as of today. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yes, Black Adam, it's here, 8 years after Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was cast as Black Adam. The movie is finally here. How is it? No spoilers, I won't be ruining anything here if you haven't seen it, because I do think it's worth a watch. So it's here, and I gotta be honest, I don't like to go into a movie with a preconceived idea of what the movie will be, or you know, tamper my expectations. Like, I don't want to go into a movie going, this is going to be bad, and I'm just not going to enjoy it. I am optimistic about all the movies I see, and I really want everything I see to be great. But I had seen the trailers, and it looked like it was just every superhero movie I'd ever seen before, crammed together in one big ensemble mess of a superhero movie. And with that mentality, I was going to give it a fair chance, but I wasn't excited to see this movie. So without trying to, I went in with low expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. I had a lot of fun with this. Does this movie have a lot of the tropes that I thought the movie was going to have? Yes. I don't think there is a single original idea brought to the table here. I think everything that is in this movie has been seen before, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't done well here. So it's not really original. Don't go in thinking that it's the second coming of Christ and that this will change your life, because it has the opening narration, it has the fish out of water story, it has the Skybeam, it has the unexpected last minute CGI villain that you just could not care less about. It's all here. JSA is a spitting image of everything that Marvel has already done. Pierce Brosnan, who plays Dr. Fate in the film, he's just a spitting image of Doctor Strange. Atom Smasher is your comic relief and sounds an awful lot like Tom Holland. For all the good stuff that this movie does do, the other half of it is definitely a DC checklist of we need this, this is how it's going to be a success, we have to do this. And even though it's not perfect, what really carries this movie for me is The Rock. I thought every trope I've seen with The Rock has just been overdone to death at this point, that I thought, okay, here's The Rock again, and he's just going to be The Rock. He's going to be the same person he always is. And I don't want to say that he was too out of his element here, but it was nice seeing him portray a character again. He's not a good guy, he's an anti-hero. I think if he was playing a superhero, this would have flopped harder than it kinda did. But seeing him out of his comfort zone is really where this movie thrives. That, along with his backstory and the way his characterization is done, as well as his on and off banter with the JSA. It's those moments when the movie really hits its sweet spot. It is goofy and dumb, but the movie knows what it is. You only have to look at what the editing is like in this movie. It looks like they were given a 3-hour movie, and all the obligatory scenes of, this isn't exactly in the movie, but like if there's a superhero movie where 2 acts of the way into the movie, he's faced with something that goes wrong and he decides, I'm giving up and I'm never going to do this again, before begrudgingly coming back and triumphant in the last act of the film. And you know where it's going, and you know the hero's not going to quit, and you're just waiting to get to exactly where the movie's going. This movie has the obligatory moments, but it skips through them as quick as possible. It is a bit of a chaotic mess, but you can tell people that made this cared. There was an element of care outside of the DC checklist. And that care and attention to detail, as well as The Rock's clear love and appreciation for this character, is what makes this movie feel very endearing. Its cinematography is actually pretty great too. I'm not gonna be quick to bash on this movie like a lot of people. It has the same cinematographer as the cinematographer that did Joker. And it's got a lot of style, a lot more style than I can say that a lot of the recent Marvel films have had. And I'll take style any day over basic reverse shots back and forth. Maybe it was the low expectations that the trailers really kind of projected onto me that made me really enjoy this as I watched it. As much of a critic as I can be, I like to think I ride the tightrope line between a film critic that can actually analyze the movie and whether it's actually put together and paced well and edited well, and just a casual moviegoer that just an audience member, someone that just enjoys movies and doesn't have to think too much. And writing that line, I have to be honest, I had a lot of fun with this. There was some talk prior to the film's release that this was going to be what resurrects the DCEU, which again, we will get into a little bit later if you hang on. And I think those expectations might have skewed what people thought of this film because it might not have given them the really big revelations that they really wanted from this. For me, I went in thinking this was more homework rather than I really want to see Black Adam. That's why the review was so late. But if you try to look at this film objectively, without the context of the hundreds of other superhero movies we have, this is a good movie. It's a fun time. Again, The Rock is what saves this from being just a complete disaster. And honestly, I gotta be true to myself. I'm gonna give Black Adam a 7 out of 10. It was pretty solid. There were some moments I really enjoyed. Maybe 7's a little high. I do think it's more than slightly above average. I do think it's good. But I do think there is a specific audience for the film as well. You've got to learn to let go. Don't take it so seriously and just try and enjoy the fun ride. So Black Adam, have you guys seen it? What did you think of it? I thought it was pretty good. Now, we're going to talk about the DCEU just before I wrap up because as of today, James Gunn has kind of decided / announced what the hell is going to happen because we're all been left in limbo. And if you're out of the loop, James Gunn, the man that gave us Super, Guardians of the Galaxy, the second Guardians of the Galaxy film, and The Suicide Squad, has now become the Kevin Feige for the DC movies. And people are kind of split down the middle because The Hollywood Reporter released an article that stated the future plans for DC and that apparently everything that's Snyderverse, so the Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Batman, Superman that we have had for the last decade or so is going to be scrapped, thrown out the window, a hard reboot, which I can kind of get behind. To a certain degree, there's some payoff that you want with everything that's set up, especially a post-credit scene in Black Adam, that you want to see where it's going to go. But I get at the same time that there is no more convoluted timeline for watching these movies. I have most of them and I still would struggle off the top of my head to tell you the order of these movies. You know, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman is in there, then Justice League, and then there's Aquaman that comes after, and Shazam's in the mix, and there's a second Shazam and a second Aquaman and a second Wonder Woman film, but we still haven't gotten the Flash film. It's all over the shop is my point, and I can see why they might want to just go with a hard reboot. What this means for the Batman, I don't know. I mean, we haven't had any concrete information. James Gunn's very active on Twitter, which is very good. He's keeping us in the loop. But as much as I've reviewed a lot of Marvel movies, I love my DC movies as well. Batman is very dear to my heart, and it's going to be interesting to see where things go. What does excite me is that, despite how successful Marvel has been, it's all being run by Kevin Feige, for the most part. He's our flagship guy, the guy in control of where this should go. And he's a producer, and that's great. James Gunn is a filmmaker. When he is tweeting about the future of DC and whether they're going to do this or do that, he is constantly talking about the characters and stories and giving them the time that they deserve. And if that means a hard reboot to set up a Marvel Cinematic Universe, but for DC properly, where we can have those movies before a Justice League, multiple Justice League movies, a Batman that is with the Justice League, then not with the Justice League, doing his own thing, growing through the years, then I'm in. But at the same time, Henry Cavill is Superman. I don't want to see that go. So we don't know. He might continue a little bit of the Snyderverse, or he might just abolish it completely, start fresh. I don't know what is going to happen exactly. I hear that Aquaman is going with Jason Momoa. That's done, but Jason Momoa might be cast as Lobo, which if you know who that is, think DC's Deadpool. I'm very excited to see that because Jason Momoa is excellent casting. Third Wonder Woman movie is canned. The Flash still might be on the way. I think they're going to just slowly push it out and hard reboot it. That's kind of what I think they're going to do, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do. What do you think they're going to do? Let me know down below. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. I talk about movies all the time, more than I have lately. I do talk about movies. Like the video as well, it really helps me out a lot. It helps push this to more people like you that want to see these things. If you've made it through to the end of this video, you're a bloody legend. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.